Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, August 5th. Today is a pretty good day on news. What we have going on is just minutes ago, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer held a meeting. Democrats said that our economy will be worse off if we don't spend more money now, was what was going on in this meeting. The Democrats are demanding the $600 in unemployment benefits and nothing less until unemployment declines is the way that they want to do it. They're willing to start scaling it down once employment is at like 10% and then a little bit lower after that. But their goal is to get unemployment under 6% before the unemployment boost completely goes away. They want to kind of condense that down a little bit to 6%. The Republicans are against this and say they want to do around $200 to $400 per week and possibly scale this to the previous wages, which is tough, right? Most economists believe that the boost is important between $400 to $600 per week. The Republicans have suggested that the boost should scale to the earnings, which means that they want it to be around 60 to 70 to 80% of the earnings that you were making before. The Democrats, however, say that this is impossible because it would be very difficult to administer, and it would be even more difficult for self-employed individuals to provide stable income documentation to support the numbers of what they were actually making to scale this to. So it's tricky. The Democrats believe that those who need money will spend it, and we will have a bubble up caused by the next stimulus package, which is true, right? On the other side, the Democrats' reason is kind of a trickle-down effect. They want the money to go to the businesses so that way more people can be hired, which means more people have money, which means less people on unemployment, which means more money that people can now spend because more people are employed. So they want it to be a trickle-down effect, whereas the Democrats want it to be kind of a trickle-up effect. Mitch McConnell this morning was asked if an agreement is not reached in the next 24 hours, then what's going to happen? McConnell said that he is not going to speculate on the timings, however. He said that the economy does need a new bill, but he's not going to speculate on when that timing is going to be going down. Both sides, though, are refusing to speculate on timing, right? Neither one of them are giving us an exact timing date. So what that suggests is that they're probably trying to reach an agreement by Friday, it seems. But to me, this whole situation feels like it's a negotiation tactic, honestly. It feels like nobody wants the other side to know that there's a deadline, right? Having an open-ended deadline and being able to walk away from the table, that's a very powerful negotiation tactic. And it seems like both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, are showing, hey, we're willing to walk away from the table. And it's gotten so bad now that White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows is saying that if a deal isn't reached by Friday, then he's going to quit, right? So both sides are kind of playing their negotiation hands pretty well. And it seems to me like that's just kind of what they're doing. That's just my take on it, though. This comes at the same time that Donald Trump threatens unilateral action on an eviction ban and unemployment, and possibly even more like stimulus checks if there's no action by Friday. He's saying he's just going to do something himself if you guys don't figure it out, kind of putting the pressure down on both sides to get something done by Friday and agreed upon. What I do want to say is I want you guys to keep in mind that right now there's really no bill. Yeah, there's the HEROES Act and yeah, there's the HEALS Act that both sides have presented, but what they're looking to do right now is just come up with an agreement by Friday, not an actual bill. An agreement can literally be a napkin with a list of priorities on it, right? It could just say, okay, like the $1,200 stimulus check, and we're going to do $600 unemployment and $500 billion for businesses and this and that, right? That's an agreement. And the plan right now is for both sides just to come to an agreement by Friday. But the problem is both sides are saying, okay, if we miss that deadline by Friday, whatever, we've got more time, which is not helping the people, and that's why Donald Trump's kind of putting down that unilateral threat on him, saying, hey, you guys need to get something done, or else I will. So what happens is after an agreement is reached, that's when they actually have to formalize that into a bill, right? There are a couple options. They could amend the HEROES Act, or they could amend the HEALS Act, or they could even just come up with an entirely new bill. It doesn't really matter which way they do it. Either way, though, the process is going to take time. This is not going to happen overnight, right? Because once we have an agreement, then we need to get the lobbyists to come over with their typewriters and type the bill up for them. And unfortunately, then comes all the special interests and the loopholes that we're accustomed to seeing, because unfortunately, that's how the American government works, right? So keep in mind, once we get a bill, then it has to be passed by the House, the Senate, and signed by President Trump. So there's a lot of steps to this. Keep in mind, though, I'm not being too negative on it. This technically could all happen by next Friday. This realistically could happen by next Friday. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, right? But right now, this week's goal is just to get an agreement done by Friday, right? We have till Friday to get an agreement done before they go on recess. And it seems to me right now they're still pretty substantially far apart, even though earlier this week I reported and told you guys it looks like there was some progress being made, but now it seems like that progress is kind of halted. It doesn't seem like we're as close as we seemed earlier in the week. Kind of both sides are just going back and forth. What I do want to touch on real quick, even though they're scheduled to have the recess on August 7th, it seems like no one is actually going on vacation, right? Neither side, I don't think, is going to be leaving, because that would just be political suicide, honestly. Keep in mind, this is an election year. There are tons of Republican seats up, and there's tons of Democrat seats up, right? And all of the seats are up in the House, right? All of those are up for re-election. So there's a lot going on right now. This is a re-election year. They need to get something done. So I don't think that either side is honestly going to leave on the 7th. It seems like something will get done, but they want to come to some kind of an agreement by tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys up to date. I'll let you know as soon as they do come to agreement, if they do, what that is. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.